Hey guys, Joseline's Cabaret, Texas, episode 8. So for the down below music video, Joseline picked Raven, Lexi Gold, Isis, Envy Erica, and Danny in that order. Then Joseline gonna say, oh, Danny, my bad. I meant to say Andrea when I said you. So Danny's not in the video. Andrea's in the video instead. Now, if y'all remember a couple episodes ago, Joseline had asked Danny would she go against Andrea for the money or the competition. And Danny was like, no, Andrea's my best friend. I wouldn't go against her for no money or no competition. And Joseline was like, oh, you're very naive. I low-key feel like she did that on purpose to try to keep making Danny feel away against Andrea or vice versa. Like, she want them to have an issue. So at first it was just going to be 5 girls, but now Joseline decided that she's going to pick 3 more, so there's going to be 8 girls. So she chooses Jayla, Russian Dreams. Then she picks Neek, who gets to crying. Isis was low-key crying too, though. And Joseline told Neek it's certain traits and things that you got about yourself that I don't like, but we'll talk about that another time. Right now, I'm just going to talk about the fact that you look good and you danced well and you deserve to be in the video. The last pick for the Domino music video is Danny. So after all of that, she ended up choosing Danny anyway. She just want to make that girl scared. Her and Andrea, she want to keep them on their toes. So Joseline told her she loves her, and Danny was like, I love you, big mama, crying, ran up to Joseline, like that's her mom for real. They both was crying, but like, I feel like Joseline be crying for the show at this point. She be trying to make herself look nice. So peep out of the OGs, the only one who didn't get picked was Diamond, who was the person who said, oh, this challenge should be easy. It's not hard for us to be sexy. And then Joseline made her go first. Yeah, she wasn't going to pick you. And no shade, I keep telling y'all, Joseline do not want girls standing next to her who are on her level or potentially even because look better than her. Because I feel like Dez and Hennessy should have both been in the video. They both really pretty girls, and she said both of them looked good, and I felt like both of them looked good, and Ballistic felt like both of them looked good. So the only reason you didn't pick them is what? Then Joseline said her armpits was funky, and Danny was like, oh, that's okay, that's seasoning. I forgot who said Joseline stink before. And somebody from the show had commented like, oh, Joseline don't wear deodorant for health reasons, or she wear like aluminum-free deodorant for health reasons. So maybe it's true. So they got on the bus because Joseline told them that they're going to come with her to the club to host tonight. And Diamond says she's not mad that she didn't get picked for the video, which isn't surprising because she isn't really comfortable with where her body is right now. Ocean's annoying ass was crying, talking about she's being hard on herself, but she don't want nobody to think she's jealous of them getting picked for the video. Hennessy was literally looking directly at the camera like this bitch is delusional, like making faces and shit, like laughing at her. Like, girl, shut up. Everybody tried their best and everybody did not get picked. So Neek said something about her being a new OG. Danny and Andrea started telling her to shut up. She talked too much. She's a effing amateur. But I'm trying to figure out why Danny mad. Because wasn't you calling yourself OG Danny from last season, which was your first season? Before you was technically an OG, you was calling yourself an OG. So what makes you better than Neek? Because Neek looked better than you. So Danny and Andrea had started singing this I Said What the Fuck I Said song, and Dez was sitting there like using her fan as shade to the beat. And Neek had to check her like, bitch, what are you doing that for? Because as far as I've seen, Neek and Dez been cool and close the whole time. So why when I'm getting into it with some bitches, you like laughing and going along with their beat? Don't play with me. Andrea talking about, oh, if you knew what I know, you would be quiet. Girl, shut up. Nobody's scared of you. And she keeps talking about, I will slide you. No, you won't. Like, I don't know who told Andrea and Danny they were so tough and that their hands just work so good. Like, what? Danny talking about, I don't like the way her hair looks. I don't like the way her titties are shaped. This, that, and the third. Like I said, Neek look better than you. Neek carry herself better than you. So you can feel however you want to feel about how she look. I don't like how you look, and I haven't liked how you've been looking for the past 2 seasons. You came this season and stepped it up a little bit than what you looked like the first season, but you still ain't all that. So they end up getting to the club, do the hosting with Joseline, have a good time. Everybody's partying and getting along and at least putting whatever they went through on the bus to the side for now. So the next day, the OGs are hanging out. Danny, Andrea, Raven, and Diamond. And Andrea decides that she's going to bring Hennessy upstairs to talk to them. She said that she feels like Hennessy's been through a lot in this house and she wants to give all of the OGs a chance to get to know her on their own. And Diamond was just saying once again, she's so proud of Raven and the fact that Raven and Joseline have grown from the chokeslamming incident last season. And now Raven has a chance to show her talents in Joseline's video. Meanwhile, everybody else is basically meeting up in the kitchen downstairs to talk about the challenge yesterday and everything. So Oceans, Isis, etc. are basically saying they were surprised that Danny and Andrea got picked because they really didn't give nothing. But like Queen Envy said, I guess Joseline do feel like she owes some of them loyalty because she did pick most of the OGs except for Diamond. So it's like, I don't really feel like none of them did that great. But Raven was decent. But Danny and Andrea, definitely not. Now, Raven does say that she feel like Neek is really talented and she could dance, but she feel like Neek got a diva attitude and it does need to be brought down. So it's not only Danny and Andrea saying this about Neek or that they don't like how she moves. Andrea like, oh, they act like they didn't watch last season. I watched last season and I would not have come into this show being scared of you or Danny or feeling like I needed to be your friend. Y'all did not look that good. Y'all did not dance that well. And y'all could not fight. And y'all was not tough. And Jayla clarified that when they said that they was OGs or the new OGs, they basically meant that they not new to this, they true to this. Neek and Jayla both said that they was professionally trained dancers. They not regular strippers. So they are OG dancers. They've been dancing for real, like doing 8 counts, doing real routines. Danny made me laugh a little bit. She said, I don't think I like this Meek Mill girl. Talking about Neek. So I'm guessing this is a few hours later. We get thrown into this scene where everybody in the house looks mad and everybody's kind of arguing. So Andrea's filling us in on what happened. She said it was off camera. They were all practicing. And all of a sudden, something happened between Jayla and Hennessy where they was about to fight. Now, remember, Hennessy was just upstairs with the OGs, basically talking about the other girls and Neek. And we know that Jayla and Neek are like besties in the house. So it's giving me, Hennessy, did the OGs put a battery in your back upstairs and like tell you to pick a side or something? Hennessy and Jayla started fighting. When they first started fighting, they was literally slapboxing. They was both swinging with open hands. But they ended up on the floor. It looked like at one point Hennessy was kind of getting a couple of hits on the top of Jayla's head. So based off what we saw, I would give Hennessy a slight edge on it. But it basically looked like a tie. And then it sounded like Ocean was saying, Henny, get on top of her. Hennessy, you didn't like Hennessy either, Oceans. You didn't like Hennessy or Jayla. So why are you rooting for anybody in this fight? Like, didn't you fight both of them already? So Neek talking about she want to address Hennessy. They already fought last week, and clearly they into it again with whatever happened off camera. But Danny is stepping up like, oh no, I gotta violate you for Jocelyn. I gotta violate you for Ricardo. I gotta violate you for Andrea. You disrespectful, line it up. So Danny wants that with Neek. But Neek is like, I don't care about you. I want that with Hennessy. Danny tried to run up on Neek. She didn't connect. Kept telling Neek she talked too much. She talked too much. Neek does not want that. And even Isis, her friend, is looking at her crazy like, girl, she did hit you. Like, why you not doing nothing? Because even if Danny didn't connect, somebody running up on me is enough. I'm not going to have somebody keep running up on me, telling me they want to fight me. And I'm going to just keep saying, oh, no, I don't want that with them. I want to fight this girl. Like, no. So Danny's telling Jocelyn, like, oh, she don't recognize the pecking order. She was disrespecting Ricardo, this, that, and the third. So Jocelyn was like, everybody shut the fuck up. And she asked Raven and Diamond what happened with Neek and Ricardo. And she called Ricardo into the room as well. So Ricardo came over and he was like, Neek basically said she don't learn with 8 counts and her mouth started popping and the girls didn't like that. So this is what happened. And Raven was like, I'm going to keep it 100. You was being so disrespectful to Ricardo and all he do is try to help us learn the dances and stuff. Danny just kept trying to talk and yell. Jocelyn had to tell her to shut up. And Raven was like, where's Desiree at? Because she was something too. So she was trying to say Des was being disrespectful too, I guess. But Diamond interrupted her and was like, no, shut up and tell her exactly what Jocelyn said. You talking like you Jocelyn, Neek. That's the problem. And Raven was like, we already got one diva with Jocelyn. I will not deal with another one. I know that's right. And Raven and Diamond was like, the other girls could act like they don't know, but they know she was disrespectful. So Jocelyn was like, why y'all not saying nothing? Talking to Isis, Oceans, and everybody else standing back there. So Neek was like, y'all intimidated. I'm that bitch. Y'all mad because I'm confident. This, that, and the third. And I do low-key feel like Danny and Andrea are mad because her and Jayla been popping their shit and saying they the new OGs and stuff. And Neek has been very confident throughout this show. Everybody saying Neek drink too much, and that's when she be starting to pop off at the mouth. Apparently, she had the biggest bottle of Reposado and went through it in 48 hours. So Jocelyn was like, I want everybody to shut up. And she had already said that before, and Neek had kept talking. So this time, when it looked like Neek was going to open her mouth up again, Jocelyn was like, bitch, shut the fuck up. I'm tired of playing with your ass, B. That's why she wanted to get on your ass, because you talk too much, B. Just started chewing Neek up. Shut up or get the F out of my house, and you ain't going to dance no more. So I guess she's not going to be in the video, child. And Jocelyn is just saying that Neek is disrespectful. She's entitled. She prances around this house. And most of the drama has her name in it somewhere. Maybe she just needs to go home. So Neek was like, can we talk? Because obviously she wanted to talk to Jocelyn away from all of this group of people. And Jocelyn was like, no, I really think you need to pack up your stuff and go home. And Neek was like, I feel like she's doing this because she see my potential and she want me to go harder. Jocelyn is usually hard on people who are talented. And like I said, actually have a look coming into the show and aren't a complete charity case. Jocelyn told her, you're a disgusting little girl. You breathe dirt and evil eye. You gonna get hurt out here. Child, Neek, I would have left. She said, one day somebody gonna hurt you. All that Baltimore shit, leave that shit over there, bitch. Y'all remember how Tasiki was coming at Jocelyn on Bad vs. Wild. She got something against Baltimore now. So Hennessy came over and was like, oh, they just jumped me, talking about Jayla and Neek. And then Jayla was like, Jocelyn, smell her PUSSY right now. It stink. Jayla said, I was just down there when we fought and it stank. We need to talk about hygiene. So Danny went down there and smelled it and she was like this, I guess basically saying she would eat it up so it don't stink. So Jocelyn is like, we were supposed to have a challenge so I could pick 4 of you ladies to come with me to my XO beauty launch. She's doing some type of cosmetic cream. So she's like, I have to pick a few of the ladies without the challenge now. Towards the end of this episode, I will say Danny is making me laugh a little bit. Like, she's funny and she's comical. I'm just usually not on her side. Like, I don't be agreeing with her and I feel like she's a lapdog. But she can be funny sometimes. But she basically told Neek, you know, I owe you a fade, basically. I'm gonna get you. I owe you a violation. So Danny ran up and they started fighting. This was actually a decent fight, I will say. They was pretty evenly matched. They was flipping all over, trying to get each other on the floor. But I'm gonna give that to Neek. She definitely got that in the end. Neek swung Danny on the ground. Danny did some shit with her legs to try to get back up. Neek swiped Danny's legs over. It was crazy. Danny locked her damn legs around Neek's neck and they flipped over again. But yeah, Neek and Danny was both missing a lot. I just slowed the fight down. But I'ma still give it to Neek because Danny was trying to put her in all those headlocks with her legs and shit, and she was getting out of them real easy. And the OGs is like, oh, today's the day, pick a side. And Hennessy's over there with them, and she's like, even though I'm an outsider to the OGs, I'm definitely locked in with them. So Neek and Danny squared up again. That second round, Neek definitely got her. She started fucking Danny up at the end. Joseline even came over and started trying to break it up herself and trying to save Danny. And Andrea tried to jump in. So you know Danny was getting fucked up. After Andrea jumps in, you can see her running around the house. So she's now running away from people chasing her because she jumped in the fight. And Isis caught her ass. Isis started tagging that ass, and Envy Erica jumped in, and I don't care because it's like, okay, yeah, Isis and Envy Erica jumped Drea because Drea tried to jump in with Danny to fight Neek. Oh well, an eye for an eye. So now Joseline trying to tell Neek that's it, and Neek is like, no. So she keep going at Danny. Danny throws the trash can at Neek, and you can hear Joseline in the back like, oh, get Neek out of here. Oh, now it's get Neek out of here because she fucking your bitches up. Danny talking about Neek is breaking her contract, and she gonna set her up to go home. And Danny kept talking, antagonizing the situation, so Joseline ended up telling her to shut the fuck up too. So Neek was just telling Joseline, I'm not that type of girl. Don't try to embarrass me on camera. I guess saying like them saying she was disrespecting Ricardo and stuff. So then we find out that Hennessy also had jumped into the fight with Danny and Neek when Andrea jumped in. So now Oceans wants Hennessy. But like I said, I'm so confused because I could have swore Oceans was the person yelling when Hennessy and Jayla was fighting, saying like, get her, Henny, get on top of her. But anyway, Oceans and Hennessy are now squaring up. They did a lot of hair pulling and shirt pulling, but Hennessy did get a couple more hits than Ocean. And at the end, she was like trying to kick Ocean in the face, and her knee ended up hitting Ocean in the face. Next thing, we see Ocean with this bloody busted lip, and her eye is completely shut. So that kick from Hennessy did some real damage. Ocean looked like she about to cry. Hennessy talking about who's next, like Hip Hop Harry. And Joseline just sitting there in shock, like. So, next week on episode 9, we're going to have a continuation of the brawl. Then we're going to see Joseline go to her XO beauty launch. It looks like she took Neek, Lexi Gold, and Danny with her. Ocean eye looking crazy. Everybody telling her to keep her glasses on. We see a conversation between Hennessy and Rose. Hennessy talking about you doubting me as a person, and for that I feel some type of way. We see Envy Erica telling Andrea that she's always jumping into Danny's fights, so that's why a lot of the girls have an issue with them because they like to tag team now. And I will give some respect to Oceans. I don't know if I'll ever like her, but I will give her respect and say she might grow on me a little bit because they show at the rehearsals next week with Ricardo, she's going to have the shut eye. It's huge, it's swollen, it's black, but she's still there rehearsing and like giving it her all. So I have to give her a 10 for that. She's here for the competition. She wants to win. So I will see y'all next week for episode 9. Bye.